So today, what we're going to be putting together is a vegetarian, vegan caramel chocolate pop. We are going to be infusing that caramel chocolate pop with some delicious stuck honey. If you don't know about it, you need to ask about it. And RSO, or we're going to make it delicious, in fact. The special thing about this is that we're not using dairy, so it's a dairy-free caramel. I've always wanted to create this. I wish you guys were here. Flex and repeat and you say New York City, express and repeat and you say worldwide. Thank you again for joining us for another episode of Food for Thought. So today, what we're going to be putting together is a caramel chocolate pop. We are going to be infusing that caramel chocolate pop with some delicious stuck honey. If you don't know about it, you need to ask about it. And we're going to have some delicious RSO, or we're going to make it delicious, in fact. The special thing about this is that we're not using dairy, so it's a dairy-free caramel. So today we're using a vegetable spread. So how we begin is by taking our vegan butter spread and putting it into our pot under a medium. There we go. We have our chocolate on a double boil in the background, just getting ready to be infused, because what we're going to do is we're going to take this RSO and we're going to infuse it into our chocolate. But for the meantime, in between time, we're going to take our vegan butter spread, put it into our pot, because we're going to start on this caramel. And while that vegan butter is going, I just want to give you a quick little understanding of what we're doing with the caramel. The caramel is going to take 15 minutes to cook, 5 minutes to prep. And just to give you a brief understanding of ingredients, I have 1 cup of vegan butter spread. I have 2 cups of light brown sugar, which is what we're going to be using here. And then we're going to be using, what they require is a cup of organic corn syrup. But we have used our infused stuck honey because I prefer not to use corn syrup. Instead of using a full cup, we use 3/4 of a cup because of its viscosity compared to corn syrup. So once we have our vegan butter down to a nice boil, then we want to start to add our other ingredients inside of it. We'll be adding our sugar. We'll add our salt last, but most importantly, I wanted to add our sugar as soon as we start to melt down our butter and our lovely brown sugar. You want to put this at a level 6, which is just a medium high. A 4 is like almost at a medium low, but you want to keep it at a nice even cook because you don't want that butter to burn nor that sugar. Like I said in the background, we have our chocolate on a double boil because we want that to be at a melt point so we can just coat our lovely molds, because it's going to take about 15 minutes to do that caramel, so you have to have patience. Guys, I want to make sure that it's important while we're doing this caramel that you know a few things that you'll need. The caramel has to be at 235 degrees Fahrenheit, which is important to remember because that will keep you from burning your brown sugar. Because before we put in our honey and all the rest of that, you're going to have your brown sugar and your butter going in. So you want to, every once in a while, if you have a temperature gauge or if you have a candy thermometer, you want to put your candy thermometer inside of the pot to keep a regulated understanding of where your temperature is at. So right now we're at 130 and we're rocking because we're going low and slow right now. We have some time. We just want to kind of make sure that all the ingredients come together properly. When it comes to this lovely thing, we're putting in a delicious full fat coconut milk, and that coconut milk is going to blend with our brown sugar and butter to create that caramel effect. But also understand we need to be putting our honey in there as well. Our honey is also infused, so there is a level of THC in this infusion of honey that is already available. And we're just going to lightly afterwards put some RSO, just to drizzle, because you don't need too much RSO. If you understand the concentration of RSO compared to THC levels, all you need is a rice grain of it. So drive slow. We got our honey, we've got our butter, we have our coconut milk, as well as our brown sugar, most importantly, and we're going to let that sit at a medium high so it can kind of do its thing and come together. We just want this to come to a nice boil so it can reduce. The amount of coconut milk that we used, definitely something you want to remember is 11 ounces. You don't want to put any more or any less. It's a perfect blend because it's going to allow the caramel to stay at a certain solidification. So we're going to go to our chocolate right now. I'm so excited about this, guys, because I'm going to use some more of our vegan butter, just a little bit of it, and add that to our mix of chocolate to add that infusion, because our vegan butter overall has been infused. Also, an alternative that one of my brothers was speaking to me about, if you're not into using honey, you might want to use agave, and agave is easy to infuse as well. The option that you might want to use. So we're taking a fourth of a cup of this honey, this duck honey, and we are putting it into the chocolate mix. We're just taking a light dash of cinnamon, just for an essence to put it in there. Now, as you can see, the caramel is working its way right now. It's doing what it needs to do. It's really about patience with this and keeping it at a heat where it's not going to burn, and remembering that that's 238 degrees Fahrenheit. So right now, we're at 182. So it's gradually coming up, and you just got to let it do what it do. You have to trust it and keep it at that medium heat and let it graduate to where it needs to be. And while that happens, like I said, this chocolate's coming together really lovely. I do have some vanilla I'm going to put into the mix. But this chocolate is beautiful. I mean, you just want to take your time with this kind of stuff and respect low and slow. I'm going to take a dash of sea salt and just put it in there, real lovely. Nice coarse sea salt. Kosher coarse sea salt, one more dash, and then mix it around. I mean, guys, if you could smell this right now, you'd smell that chocolate just blooming once we threw that sea salt into there. The cinnamon's coming together with it nicely, and it's really an easy thing. So now, the piece de la résistance, as they say, will be this RSO. This is not something that we really want to overdo because it's very potent. It's a concentrated amount. And if you don't know what RSO is, you want to look that up. Please do that. I don't believe that it'll be hard to reach. So look, you see that amount I used there? That's about a rice grain. That's a fat rice grain. That's like a quinoa. So we're going to take that and we're just going to blend that into the mix. And the reason why we only use a little is because it's so potent. RSO was originally made by Rick Simpson, and the reason why he was making it was for his patients that were fighting cancer and other diseases, and it was highly effective. It is a great medicine, if I do say so myself. You want to do the low and slow with this as well. It's already activated. You want to give it its love. Don't be afraid of a little bit of heat because you're in the kitchen. And the chocolate's delicious right now. Ridiculous. I wish you guys were here. Take my little ladle. And we're going to have a little fun because I'm going to start to coat the inside. This stuff is going to harden up on you. Not immediately, but eventually. So if you'd like, you can utilize a brush, paint the sides. But as you can see, our caramel is going crazy right now. It's trying to figure out what it wants to be. And we're going to give it this time to figure out exactly what it wants to be. We're going to let it reduce. Because what I've learned about caramel is that it's an evaporation game. I've made caramel popcorn. And the caramel popcorn has been to the level of like, well, it's brittle and hard depending upon the baking soda content. And the baking soda just dehydrates it. So I was like, okay. So depending upon how much temperature I use and how much time I take with this, I can make a really nice caramel toffee. Just depending upon the ingredients that you put. It's all a delicate dance. But let's just get fun for a second and put a bit, just a bit, of sweetened condensed coconut milk and just mix it all in. And again, patience. But look at that. Look how beautiful that comes out. You know, I swear when I cook, I be feeling like Bob Ross, y'all. Bob Ross got the vibes. And you can start to see the caramelization process forming. It's looking real beautiful right now. I want to touch it so bad, but the key is not touching it. The key is let it be. Let it relax. What we're doing here again is we're making caramel chocolate pops. We're going to make some caramel pops too. I used to eat Sugar Daddies when I was a kid and they're delicious. I don't even know if they make them anymore, but Sugar Daddies were amazing. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take this lovely chocolate blend and and we're gonna put it in the fridge and chill it. Again, we're gonna put it in there for about 1.5 minutes, 5 minutes tops. If you don't know, we're working with stuck honey. We're not using corn syrup. We're using the honey that we infuse in-house, a healthy way to transfer and consume cannabis. And also because it's absolutely delicious and we create it and we love you guys, so we want to give you something amazing. We also have our delicious vanilla that I'm going to blend into the chocolate now at this point. And the reason why I'm doing it because I want to create like a flavor profile. So the chocolate is rich and salty on one side, and then it's got this light, lovely vanilla essence on the other end. We're only using half a teaspoon. Now, this is what happens when you have a bit of patience. It just takes care of what it needs to. It's been about, I would say, 10, 11 minutes now. We're gonna let it sit for a little longer, and then we're gonna whip it around. I'm just gonna go into my chocolate for a moment that we put our vanilla in and just move that around a bit, because this is truly just gonna be a coat on top of it all. The caramel is almost looking done. I'm excited about that. It should be at 238. And that's what's gonna show you the real life. We're at 224 right now. That's why I said we're at like 11 minutes. Going to 15 minutes is gonna be perfectly at 228 because we allowed it to graduate where it needed to be. Just wanna give you guys a visual on the chocolate and how it's hardened thus far. So as you can see, it's wonderfully hardened. So we're gonna have a wonderful swirl. I'm really excited. I love the way it's sitting on the side of the walls. This is supposed to be absolutely imperfect. You see the way this looks? Caramel lays on there and then starts to swirl because this is cool. The caramel's gonna be hot, so eventually it's gonna melt together. So as you can see, our caramel is screaming for us to be a part of its life. So I'm just gonna take these sticks and lay them one by one into this chocolate mold that we've already created. And what we're gonna do with the caramel bits is we're gonna do half pops and half knots. So people can kind of just pop them in their mouth without the stick. So let's check the temperature one more time on that caramel. Whew, we're ready. 238 exactamundo. Shutting it down, because this is where we're gonna be putting in our granulated sea salt. Our coarse sea salt, excuse me. All right. Just move it around. Now you can see how viscous this caramel has become. You see that, guys? Do you see that? Come on, ridiculous. Be the dope you want to smoke, guys. I don't think I said that yet this entire time. And do the amazing things that you see in your mind and share them with the world. I'm gonna take a bit of our vanilla, douse it in. Like I told you, this is a time-sensitive thing, guys. Come over to the family and say, hey, what's going on? My name is Caramel. Oh, we ain't done, baby. We ain't done. Oh my God. Do you think we've had enough, guys? Oh my God, look at can you see that? Beautiful consistency of the caramel. I'm gonna take a little bit of this cinnamon, throw it in my hand, lightly onto the caramel. It's gonna be amazing. Did somebody say add some sea salt? So now we're gonna put these into the fridge. Flex and repeat, and you say worldwide. Welcome back, my kindred, and thank you for tuning into the episode of Coco-cannamel with Food for Thought. And as in the tradition for Food for Thought, we just want to give you now an idea for effortless living. Taking from our sanctuary perspective, let's talk about meditation. Because for you as the individual, meditation sets a relationship within, and your relationship within fosters your outward experience. Utilizing environmental energies such as temperature, vibration, Coco-cannamel pops, delicious, and most importantly, your breath will create the basis of your humanity, and in fact is the basis of your humanity and your spiritual existence. So keep that in mind, because it's very important to take your time and your breath in everything that you do. Because what is breath? Breath is life. Breath is your birthright. Breath is your relationship with existence. Be the dope you want to smoke and steam on life. Flex! Alright guys, so I got a surprise for you. Just a little surprise, because we're in the holiday season. Told you I love sugar daddies. Don't get creepy. Talking about the caramel pop. Ever since I started creating, I've always wanted to create this. So I thank you guys so much for being a part of this experience. This is officially the Supreme Green Cuisine version of Sugar Daddy. You guys see this, yo? Like, I'm super excited. So like I said, it will only take like 15 minutes, at the most 20 minutes, to get this caramel hardened and not falling off of the pop. I want to get a zoom in on that lovely cinnamon that we have on there. Okay, so this is our chocolate that we whipped with the lovely RSO. Delicious. I want to see if those other ones are done. The chocolate mixed with the caramel is so savory. So I'm glad that it's out because I want to show you guys the inside and the swirl. But these will form really nicely. But let's just get a beautiful pull on that. Oh my God. You know, that's really what it should be as far as consistency, guys. That is our caramel chocolate pop. I truly appreciate you guys. Eat a dopey with a smoke. If you want to know more, please follow us at supremegreencuisine.com. Flicks!